Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. So this video today is on a 2004 Audi A4. This is the 2.5 TDI engine, if I'm not mistaken, which is the longitudinal engine. So you have like the pistons, the engine sits like lengthwise with the car. And this is actually my neighbor's car, and he came to me with this receipt from a garage where the car was before, and they kind of refused to do the job. They said to him they didn't have time to do this, but I think they just didn't want to do the job. Now I'll tell you what the problem is with the car. So the auxiliary belt is off. The car came to me, I will show you the front end, but the car came to me like this. So we have the radiator fan in there, we have the auxiliary belt in there, the belt is right there behind the seat. So the car has been dismantled, not dismantled, but the fan has been taken off. Apparently the guy said he was driving and the battery light came on, he lost power steering, and I think that was the only things he noticed, but obviously that coincides with the auxiliary belt. Apparently he took the car to this garage. On the report, I've read the report, I don't have it here with me, but the report was saying, basically it was saying that they removed the covers to change the auxiliary belt, and they found that the tensioner bolt was broken on the engine block. Not really sure what that means yet. I mean, I know what that means, but not sure how bad that is. And at this point, that's it. They charged the guy 25 quid or something like that, and they said they didn't have the time to do the job. So he went to another couple of garages. According to him, they all said to him they didn't have the time to do this sort of job. So he asked me if I could have a look. I put the car here. The car is here for a week now because it's been raining and stuff. Today is a quite good day, so I'm going to start to work on the car. We're going to first inspect the front of the car. Obviously we're going to see exactly, we're going to try to see if I can see exactly what they mean with that tensioner bolt broken, see if I can see exactly what is wrong. At the moment, obviously, as you can see, the fan has been removed, so we only have that little bit of a gap between the end of the end of the engine and the sort of the front of the radiator or the back of the radiator. So there's only a small gap in there. I don't know if we're gonna have, they say the bolt snapped. Are we gonna need to take the front bumper to have a good access to it to do the job? Or are we going to be able to do it just like that? I don't know yet. Let's go and have a look and see what we're going to do. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that idler in there. As soon as I've touched it, it just came off. There's a sort of a place on an engine block, which apparently is bolted in, where that goes in. And obviously that's not secured in place. Everything else, all the other idlers and stuff, they look alright to me. That was the one that I've touched and came off. Now this system does have two belts. So it does have a main auxiliary belt which runs the alternator, runs the steering, and I think that's it really. And then you have another little one that runs the AC compressor. Now, what I think it happened was, because I think this is one of the covers, so that idler came off and ran in there, and it's just destroyed this. But the main thing is not even that, is that this fan is broken. It's here, it's broken here. It's all smashed up, and I only have here the thin auxiliary belt, which is one for the AC. The other one is not here. So I believe what happened was the other fan or the idler came off, and consequentially the belt came off and obviously just wrapped around this and smashed the fan, or the belt snapped and did that damage. Now obviously we're going to need a new fan, because this fan is not going to be balanced. I can't use this fan anymore, so we're going to have to get one, and we're going to have to get to that idler, try to figure out exactly what happened in there. I'm gonna try to lift the car and look underneath, because that pulley is right at the bottom. I'm gonna try to look underneath, see exactly what happened in there before I start to dismantle the car. But I think it's going to be probably easier to just remove the entire front of the car to give us a better space to work, especially because I don't have an elevator, and obviously it's going to be complicated to work underneath the car on something like this. So yeah, I'm going to have a better look underneath, just to inspect, and we'll go from there. And just before I proceed, because I should have done this as the start of the video really, I just want to show you that the car is running absolutely fine. The only issue, as I've showed you, is the auxiliary belts. There's nothing wrong with timing belts or the belt that runs to the fuel pump or anything like that. The car runs fine. I drove the car to here, so I just want to show you. Obviously I just don't want to do it too many times because I will be discharging the battery, but I just want to show you that the car runs absolutely fine. Oh, there's no battery now. Okay, we have no battery. Okay, so yeah, we have no battery, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry. When I pulled in, the battery was already quite weak, and the car just started. I thought it would start once more, but it doesn't. But I can guarantee you there's nothing wrong with the car. The car runs fine. Like I said, I drove the car into here. The only issue is the auxiliary belts, which we're gonna do. I'm not gonna touch timing belt or anything like that. That looks, a quick inspection, they are visible now because they took all those covers. A quick inspection to the belts, they look absolutely fine anyway. They don't look like, if they are perishing or tearing or anything like that, they look absolutely fine, so we're not gonna touch that. It is a shame I can't show you the car running now, but surely I will show you at the end of the video. Okay guys, so I was just trying to have a look underneath. The idler, or the pulley, is that one in there, the one on your left hand side, and yeah, it sounds like the bolt they said is broken is a bolt that goes in there, right there, because that just comes off like this. If you look at it, you see, so it looks like there is a bolt here that sheared off, and obviously it no longer holds this in place, but the access is nearly impossible even from the underside. So I think I'm left with no options other than take the front of the car and yeah, and then try to look at it from the front, because it's exactly what happened. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So the front of the car is pretty much removed. Bumper, headlights. Luckily, I don't know if you can hear, my aircon, or the aircon, is empty. So it's just a little bit of gas inside, but as you can see there's no liquid whatsoever, which saves me from having to have someone to come here to empty the system prior to carry on with this. I've asked him, he said to me he reckoned it was nothing there, and it's not. So that's a good one. Otherwise I would have to call someone to to drain the aircon and then obviously refill it again, but because it's empty we don't need to worry about that. And now I'm going to take all the front, the aircon radiator, and then the water radiator, the coolant radiator, and we'll carry on from there. So after a lot of work, we finally got to it. I was to remove this wall assembly, but I got stuck on this last bolt. I took this to underneath, I took that side, but then that one is just not coming out. I don't have the right tools as well, so I decide just to pull the radiators out, and that gives me access to this. And so basically what broken was actually this bolt in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but the bolt is in there right at the bottom. So the bolt actually sheared off. This came out, the belt came off. These start to rub on that plastic cover that you see the mark, and this went up and has been rubbing in there as well. So basically that was the bolt, but it's not on an engine block. So that's the beauty of it, is that I'm going to be able to remove this bracket here and take the bracket out and get the bolt drilled. Sorry guys, what am I doing? So yeah, so this is part of this bracket here that holds the oil pump, the steering pump, and all this stuff. So I'm going to be able to take all these off. That's what I'm going to do next. Take all these off, and then I'll take it to a shop just around the corner, and they're gonna hopefully drill that out for me. I don't see anything else damaged. This bearing is a little bit not very good. Am I gonna replace this? I don't know if you can hear it. So he's definitely gonna need one. This top one as well. This one looks good, but I will probably replace everything, to be fair with you. Okay, so yeah, so the timing belt itself is good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like if it needs replaced just yet. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. It seems that I need to take this bell out. I'm gonna remove the bell because there's a bolt right behind to get to the bracket. We're gonna have to unplug the oil pump, or maybe just take the pulley out and try to see if I can leave the pump connected. I don't know yet. I'm gonna see what's gonna be the best way. I think the aircon pump needs to come off because there seems to be a bolt in there that comes from the other side. So it's gonna be a lot of work, but hopefully we'll get through. Okay, I will take you through as we go along, and this is gonna have to be replaced because obviously it's being rubbing in there, is all damaged in there. We're gonna need another one. So ideally these would come off. Bloody hell, because of one bolt. I can't believe. Okay, so the bell, I think is the name. The bell is out, the pulley is out, and as I've just said, I'm gonna be able to take this without disconnect the pump, because the pump is held by these 3 bolts here. And if I take this, I can push this slightly to the way, and then this bracket should be able to come out. Indeed, the AC pump needs to come out. There is one bolt that's gonna come from underneath to here, and there's another one that you can't really see, but it seems that there's another one at the back. So unfortunately the AC pump is gonna have to come out. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do next, really, is take the AC pump, because up here we have these 2 bolts, and I think that's it. This is not holding anywhere. I think there might be some bolts there on the side, I don't know yet. I think there's a bolt at the back right there that comes from there. Once I take these off, I should be able to get to it. Okay, let's gonna see how this goes. And the AC pump is out. As I've said, it was 3 bolts right underneath, and now we have another. Where are they? You have those 2 in there that need to come off for that wall bracket to come out. And then you should be able to access the other bolts that holds this main bracket here. Okay, so this bracket is now out. There's 1/3 bolt, which is the one for the hinge, which is in here, but from the other side, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to, especially with the car on the floor like this, but it's doable. So as you can see, is this one here. So there's 3 bolts securing this, and now I believe I have one right here on this bracket from underneath at the back, holding it to the back, and I think there's one right here at the top as well. We're gonna go underneath and see where they are and go from there, but we're gonna take these three first to lose the pump, and then see if we can take this bracket off. Okay, and the bracket with the tensioner and all that is now out. Ideally, you wanna take the oil cooler out. I had to take one of the pipes off. I was trying to take this one, but it was really difficult. So I managed to twist the cooler somehow, and these just came off. The thing is, you need to pull the bracket away from these studs in order to slide it this way. But yeah, it's out. Am I gonna get this seal new, this gasket for the oil cooler probably? But yeah, it's out, and now we're gonna have a look at the broken bolt. Okay guys, so I managed to get the broken bolt drilled out, and it was just a little bit left, so a little bit of a drill, then tap it, and it just came off. It was not rocket science, nothing very difficult, so I don't need to take these anywhere. But I now think I know why this actually broke, because this is supposed, can you see how centered that is? There, there's a lot of play here on this. Let's see if I can get this somehow here, like that. You see that? I don't know if there's some sort of rubber bush inside that's supposed to go there to obviously hold this centered, but I think if I just put a bolt, tight all these up, obviously this is just going to be tight against this, and there's no movement. So as this tries to move with the belt running, obviously it's going to twist the bolt, and the bolt will crack. If I put a bolt a little bit longer and leave it like this, it's going to move away too much. So I'm not really sure at the moment how this is supposed to work on the inside. I might get a bolt just with the right length. The guy doesn't want to spend too much money on this as well, so he doesn't want to get nothing new, or the only thing I'm going to buy new is actually this idler here, obviously, and possibly the other ones as well. Like I've showed you, they are not very good. And even these ones, to be fair with you, is a little bit damaged. It's going to damage the belt if I leave it like this. Yeah, it's going to need a new one, definitely. But here I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this. So I should have researched before I've done the last clip. Doesn't matter. So I went shopping, and we have here everything we need. So this play here, guys, is because when this came off, a lot of stuff came off at the same time. So what I bought is a repair kit that comes with a new arm, and it comes with all the bushes, and as you can see, all the rubber bushes, all the new bolts. So it comes with everything. That's why you have all this play here, because there's bush missing in there. So we're going to replace all that. I got a new pulley, and we got the other two. So the one that's right at the top of the engine, well, on the side, which is that one there. The one for the compressor, which is there, the tensioner. And the only one we're not going to replace is this one. So the one from there, this one we're not going to replace because there's no play on it, and it's not noisy whatsoever. You might can't hear it, but it's absolutely fine. The other two, they were indeed on their way. To be fair with you, this one looks quite new to me. It looks like he has been replaced not long ago, because he looks really it looks new to me really. So yeah, so this one I'm not gonna touch, but the other ones, they're gonna be replaced. And I think what I'm gonna do next is start to rebuild this. So we're gonna take this one out, rebuild this sort of hinge here, put the new arm, put the new pulley, and then just start to put everything back together really. Okay, so we have removed the old pin and all that stuff, and we have the new ones. And the way this works is this goes in there. It's a little bit tight, so we need to push it in, and then this goes in the middle, and this actually spins on these ones. So this spins in there, and that's what does the hinge. What happened on the other one was this pinion, sort of, this shaft was completely seized, and all the pressure started to went on actually bolt that was holding everything together, and that's why it snapped. So we're going to lubricate everything with grease, obviously, grease it properly as we put everything back in, and basically the way it goes is one of these sleeves here, there's another one that goes on the other side, the shaft goes in the middle, okay, then there's new rubber seals so no dust or anything gets in there. There's one that goes on this side right at the back, and there's another one that goes on the new, this is the old cap, there's a new one that goes like this. Where's the new one? How the new one is? Oh, there it is. And this is the new one already that goes on this side to seal everything. Okay, so let's gonna put everything together, and then I will show you just before I put the new arm in place. Okay, so I've just put the sleeves, and as you can see, this goes in, and it's a really tight fit, and this is what works as a hinge, basically. That's why you need to turn, and the other one was completely seized because I had to hammer it completely out. So yeah, let's gonna put everything back together. It's not rocket science from now onwards, so let's gonna put everything back together and start to put it on the car. Okay, and this is how it should work. As you can see, it's a little bit tight, but obviously there's no plane or nothing, so, and everything just turns in there. Okay, and now we're just gonna attach this spring-loaded tensioner, well actually tensions the belt, and then we're gonna start to put everything back together. To put it back together is not rocket science. I'm just gonna stop when we put the belts to show you how they are fitted, but the rest of it is just the reverse of what we did. So that's it really. So I'm gonna start to put everything back together and just show you stop at the belts, and to show you how the belt is put in place. Okay, and this is all back in place. I put the bell, the pulley, the oil pump, the steering pump, everything is pretty much ready to put the auxiliary belt, but I'm going to put the compressor first in there, because to put the auxiliary belt, you actually need to release this engine support, because the belt doesn't really go between the support and the crank pulley. So we're gonna have to release that to give us a little bit of room to put it in. But for that, I'm gonna need the jack, which is in there at the moment. I'm gonna need it to support the engine at the front, so possibly so. Well, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the AC pump is now in place. I managed to drop the engine support so we can slide the belt, and we should now have plenty of room in there to put the belt back in place, and that's what we're going to do. And the belt is in place, so this is how the belt goes. Comes from the alternator, goes here, tensioner, crankshaft pulley, PAS, fan, idler. That's how it does it. So obviously all you need to do really is just pull this up, and then once the belt is in place, just release it. I found it easier to put around everything, leave it out of here, and then just slide it into position. If you have Allen key big enough, you can obviously use this socket and twist to pulley up. I've just used something underneath to pulley up, and that's it. The AC con goes like this, and you just use an Allen key to put the tension, and now we just tie that bolt, and that's it. Okay, all the covers are back on, as you can see. Before I put the covers, I've turned the engine on the crankshaft pulley 2 or 3 times just to make sure everything would turn okay, which it did. So we put the covers. You can see this bolt slash nut is different. I've looked everywhere on the car and I couldn't find the third one of these ones, so I think the other garage he lost it, or they never put it back on the car. It was a leer box with all the nuts and stuff, and it was nothing there. I've looked everywhere, so I had to come up with something, but it's quite secured. It's not going to come off. So what we're going to do next? Next we're going to put the fan. I got another fan, as you can see. So we're going to put this fan back in place. Today is raining, so as you can see, it's not very good, but I'm going to try to assemble as much as I can today. And to be fair with you, everything is just the reverse of removing. I know I didn't take you through a lot of details during the removal, but it's just take bolts and nuts. It's not rocket science. So I'm going to put as much as I can back on today, and yeah, just try to put everything. Just try to do as much as I can. If there's anything in the meantime that worth to record while I'm putting things back together, I will record it. Otherwise, it's just straightforward assembly. Another quick thing, torques for this. I'm probably not gonna put the torques below on the description because they are quite simple. So I have the printouts for the torques, which I will take you through more at the end of the video. Okay guys, we had a small setback here. I had a quite noticeable oil leak on the oil cooler, so I had the engine running. As you can see, most of it is now in place. So I've started the car yesterday, and while I was checking for leaks, was a leak coming right there in that corner, and when I inspected it a little bit, it was coming from the back of the oil cooler. So I had to take the air compressor again, the bracket, well, I had to get to there again, and basically it was leaking through this seal. Unfortunately, I thought I left the oil cooler loose, but I didn't. It was proper tight, and it's just the seal, that's it. That is no good long anymore. So I'm gonna get 2 new seals, put everything back on, and hopefully we'll fix this leak, and we'll be able to carry on. Okay, everything is done. Whew, it's really hot in here. So everything is done. Let me bring this down a little bit. I was just I was just doing this so I would circulate the water through the heater exchange in here. Anyway, as you've seen, everything is put back together, including the bumper is all done. I've checked. Obviously, we got 2 new seals. The oil leak is sorted. That was a little bit of a setback, unfortunately, but things happened. So yeah, the job is done. I'm just letting the car to reach temperature. It's now on about 70 degrees. I'm just trying to pressurize the system, make sure there's no leaks on the cooling system. Oil system in there, I just said that is done, sorted. Water, cooling system, so far so good. I can't see any leaks. but we're gonna let the car to reach temperature to pressurize the system and see if there's any leaks, but hopefully, fingers crossed, should be okay. Another thing, the torques, I'm gonna leave a list of the main torques in the description below, but a quick heads up, everything is 22 Newton meters around there, apart from 2 or 3 things that are not. I'm gonna leave the torques for the main things, obviously, on that V-belt system, and yeah, just check the description below, the torques will be there, and yeah, we got it done. I really don't know why 2 garages refused to do this job. After all, I mean, we've done it here on the floor, and I've done it in about, well, it's been raining and everything. The weather is not very good. As you can see, it's not very good. But yeah, I got it done. I could have got it done in about a day and a half, maybe less than that. And that's here on the floor with an elevator and stuff like that. You could get this done easily in about 1 day labor. So it was not that complicated. Another thing that I would like to mention is the time I've wasted before someone saying something, if they haven't already, is drill that broken bolt was a waste of time. I understand now, because obviously the repair kit comes with a new bush, with a new shaft, everything, so drill that was a waste of time, although it took me 10-15 minutes to take that bolt out, so it was not that bad. But yeah, I've learned it for the next time. And yeah, we have the battery went really low, and we have the gearbox window in there flashing, so we're gonna have to put the machine, the scanner, and reset that. But other than that, the car is running fine, no issues at all. Guys, what else to say? Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, any comments, you know, put them below. And like always, thank you for watching.